construction of the National Art Gallery and subsequent influx of tourists, Woodbine began ushering in new businesses, growing what would become downtown Woodbine. In today's build, we will begin providing zoning for these businesses and housing options for the residents who will work there. We'll be focusing on growing specific assets, so grab yourself a caffeinated drink of choice, kickbacks, and please enjoy today's episode of Pine Harbor County. Heyo and welcome to another episode of Pine Harbor County, where we will use and abuse the new operating district mechanic that was introduced into Cities Skylines 2. Last episode, we placed the Painter's Mansion and National Art Gallery assets, as well as some custom artworks with pedestrian paths that you can see a little bit right here if I zoom in a little bit. These beautiful connected paths. Anyway, in this episode, I want to start filling in this area with some zoning. We're going to be focusing a little bit on some business as well as residential. Probably around here, here, and here. And then potentially filling in this area here with some of the new beach assets. So if you're excited, be sure to hit the like button below. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And then, who's ready? Let's jump right on into building some zoning. Okay, so right away, I want to beef up this area with some parking garages. And I'm going to do this for a few reasons. First, this area is going to be thicker density and higher rise and heavily focused on commercial shops and businesses. Therefore, the customers are going to need a place to park, and I thought that the parking garages would be perfect. So I want to go ahead and plop those in, and I'm actually going to start by bulldozing this existing lot that we had and coming in with the garages themselves. And I'm thinking we are going to place them right here, and I want them to be a little bit centered. So let's zoom on in here. Try our best to keep everything centered. Okay, and the reason I want the garages here are actually for this visual right here. So if you're coming right down to the arterial road that connects into Alders Bend, the city of Braeburn, kind of this area out here, we just get a very nice layer of depth. And you may have noticed too that I went in and I took a peek at how much that large parking lot was giving us for parking space. It was giving us, I think it said around 360. So let's pop that in again. So 360. Yeah, did I say 360? I meant to say 320. So what we did is by placing two, we are short a few parking spots, but we can add some more in. Mainly because I'm a glutton like this. I just like this. I like this a lot. And the city of Braeburn looks pretty snazzy out there. So little bit of parking for our residents as well as some businesses. All right, so next I want to start right away by zoning in some businesses. And I want to focus on the 3x4 and 2x4 zoning sizes, as there are a few assets I'm hoping spawn in this area to kind of give this a specific look. With the introduction of Paradox mods, there is now a Plop the Growable mod. However, we can still play a little bit of Whack the Growables to get the assets that we want without needing the mod itself. So I want to go in and I want to start zoning in some of the some of the businesses, leaving some room for a pathway here and there. All right, so let's kind of take a look at how this is from some different angles here. So this looks still pretty good, pretty basic. And while these buildings here weren't intentional, I like how they kind of spawned up. This one doesn't quite make sense to me, but we'll work with it. And then let's keep our line visual good here. Perfect. All right, so originally I was planning on leaving this as an open area to make a garden. But I'm actually thinking we have a very interesting opportunity here to come in with an alleyway, I think. Especially because we have this beautiful 1-unit road now. And I am just curious if we can actually create a bit of a roundabout in here, or at least a unique design, and put something a little tall in here. So we're going to keep coming down here. So I want to keep an eye on this visual here. And I think what I want to do, I do not want to disrupt this line of sight here. No, that's pretty disrupting. All right, and then I'm thinking, I originally was thinking, let's put some office here. But I swear this was just red and now it's green. So back to the original plan. Let's put some office here. And I think we're going to put one big chunk here. And let's see kind of how that zones in here. Okay, so I feel like it's disrupted the visual line a little bit here. We're going to try one more thing and just kind of see how it looks. Because honestly, that's kind of the fun of playing Cities Skylines. You get to experiment. All right, let's just kind of see how these look. This one might be a little too tall for my liking, but worst case scenario, we can just delete it all if we don't like it. I like those structures more. Like these office assets. Don't know if I like how high it rises up though. Okay, we'll leave it for now, but let me know down in the comments below whether you think we should keep these offices here or if we should change out this middle area behind the businesses and behind the parking garages with something different. If there's an idea that you like, please feel free to give it a thumbs up on the comment section. That way I know you also enjoyed or liked that idea. So think of it like a voting system in a way. The more votes a comment has, the higher chances it has of becoming the official build. Okie dokie. Alrighty, so with the influx of the businesses in this area, the business owners will need to be able to employ it with residents. So while we have some adequate row housing, from the castle build we did a few episodes back, I thought this area would be great for some mid-rise condos. So I want to come in with some roads here, and I want to create 2 smaller connector roads leading to a custom roundabout, and then some alleys to provide some zoning space. Now that we have our roads in, let's fill in some zoning. And I'm going to change this up a little bit and focus on the European 3x4 and European 5x5 mid-rise residential assets. So far in our build, we have heavily focused on North American, and I think these assets will blend in nicely while adding some variety to the brick buildings I notice are predominantly featured in the North American style. So let's come in here and grab our mid-rise European. Clicked on the wrong thing. European mid-rise. And let's just zone in a few 3x4s and 5x5s. And I'll probably put a few parking lots in this area as well to kind of help supplement the buildings. All right, so we're gonna give this some time to level up a bit. And what I'm hoping to get are some tall, white and colored assets. So yeah, time will tell and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so really quickly off camera here, I just felt that this area was still too bare, so I did come in and I filled in a little bit more. I put some low residential North American commercial here and here, and then I filled this area in with a little bit of pathway that we'll decorate up with some parks. During that time, we did unlock some new signature buildings, and you may remember that in previous episodes I was talking about unlocking more of these signature buildings. So we actually unlocked the Condo, so a modern classic that puts a smile on the faces of its inhabitants. And we also came in and unlocked the, food station right here. And I just actually realized something, and I'm probably an idiot for not realizing this ahead of time, but this whole time I thought I could only unlock the signature buildings of my map's theme, and that's incorrect, which makes me really happy because I really like these condos here. I think they're super snazzy. So we might even incorporate that into a build today. That looks like a mansion to me. Food for thought, food for thought. So before we jump into a Beautifying the Build time-lapse, I want to come in and start introducing some of the assets from the beach, the new beach DLC. Now, I don't want to go crazy with these assets, and I think what I would like to do is just kind of come in along the coastline here and place in just a basic alleyway. So let's come on in and get some road layouts in here. Okay, so from here, I want to start placing some of the bigger zoning areas and experiment a little with what spawns in. I'm going to space the assets out as I'm aiming for a handful of mansions more than I am a thick density in this area. So what I think we're going to do is come in here, make sure we have North American selected, and come in to the beach, the beachside assets here. I think we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll put a 5. Okay, we won't put a 5 by 5 there. So already we've got 2 by 3 spawning in. Okay, we can get a 3 by 5. How about a 4 by 5? No. So 3 by 5 might be the biggest we can go. Yeah, so 3 by 5 I think is the biggest we can get in here without infringing at least on some waterfront here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these are going to be kind of what we spawn in here. So let's just kind of come on in and watch them grow. All right, so these have spawned in. So let's kind of take a look at them here. Not quite the mansions yet that I'm hoping for. However, I'm hoping they will level up fairly easily. Obviously, once we get some healthcare in here as well. Then I think the spacing is okay with how they are. So what I was thinking of doing in our Beautifying the Build time-lapse was kind of coming in here and decorating up the area on our own. However, these assets are already coming with some fencing and hedges. So for now, we may just let this level up and kind of see where it goes from there. And then we may come in and decorate in some areas for them with their own like custom gardens and things like that. Well, I was going to start the Beautifying the Build time-lapse, but now I'm really worried that this tornado is just going to come in and ruin everything that we just built. Oh, bother. Sweet. It kind of just disappeared. All right, well, then for now, I think now is a good time to start working on our Beautifying the Build time-lapse. So let's jump on in and start making everything look kind of pretty. All right, I hope everyone enjoys today's episode. If you are new to the channel and want to help support its growth, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and leaving a comment below with your favorite part of the build. If there's a particular build you would like to see, please leave that also in a comment below. And don't forget to check out the community tab of the channel where we post various polls, discussions, and channel updates. Finally, until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.